Okay.
Yippee-ki-yay.
All right. So as promised, the next thing we're going to teach coaches out there. Tom's got an amazing story to share about the bottom 25% of your leads, right? How to avoid the time wasters, even if you can get them as a client, right? Like say you're a hardcore used car salesman kind of person where you can sell anything to anybody, but like they don't want to be there, right? Like you sold them and now they're a terrible client, right? Like, but some people can do that, right? But
yeah, let's start with that. I don't care if you're the most passive person when you try to sell and you're just like, please pick me, please buy. And you're desperate and you're passive and you just don't like closing people, or you're a closer and you just know you're a closer and you're like, that's what I do. I close people, right? I don't care. The whole gamut of this so the bottom 25%, I'll tell you where the story came from is, and why I teach this principle is we had a couple of guys on that we had produced infomercials with our infomercial partners, the TV partner side of things. And we were doing the sales and doing the coaching and all the marketing and product development and everything in between. But what happened was we had a company come to us and say, hey, let's go look at your data and we'll do an evaluation and we'll tell you, we'll help get you ROI. And we're like, all right, a couple $1,000, we'll give it a shot. So this company comes in, they evaluate our data and they said, you know what? Your top 20% of buyers, here's the demographic of those buyers, specifically and generally, right? The bottom 25%, here's what they are, and then the middle 50%. So they did the bell curve for us, right? So the interesting thing was we already kind of knew the top 25%. We're like, okay, this type of person, this kind of situation, this. The bottom 25%, what was interesting is these are people who would see the show on TV, they would call and buy the book or the kit, and they would never talk to us again. But a couple things happened. One is the smart thing we did is we figured out the TV stations where the places where we were spending that ad money and stopped spending the ad money in those low end places, the non-good buyers. And we doubled down on our top 25% of spend. And right. And we got the same kind of results you would expect. It was amazing. The other effect of that was we didn't waste as much time on phone calls with people. We didn't have our chargebacks, our refunds, our customer complaints. All of that went dramatically down just because we got better at running our ads to the right people and stopping running our ads to the wrong people.
Yeah.
It saved headaches all the way through the entire ecosystem.
It sounds so simple, but
more profitable. But it took if you have coaching clients, you can do it with a data management company like we did because we had thousands and thousands of pieces of data. But if you talk to one of our sales guys and one of our coaches and said, who are the best clients? They would give you a description that you could go run tests on and you could bank on it because they knew people based on actual street experience. So if you're doing this by yourself, you just work backwards and go, hey, I have clients. Which ones do I like? Which ones don't I like? Which ones were easier to sell to or easier for them to buy from me and that I love working with? And go, okay, let's stop running ads to people who aren't like that. Let's double down at the very least on the people who are like that and work with your ad person, work with yourself, but keep figuring out what really is that ideal client, right? And
that's what the sale before the sale is, right? It's
all
you're not going to attract your perfect client if you don't know who they are.
You're not going to change.
Sounds trite, but it's true.
You're not going to change somebody's personality or character, right? So why manipulate, twist their arms, talk to them, hardcore close them, because they're just going to cancel and cause problems anyway and waste your time and your money and your energy. Sure. And all that could be put in the right place. And you're attracting the right client who's like, man, I love this. I've been looking for this. I'm ready for this. You're now the answer I've been looking for. And I just found out about you. That's how you get the speed of sales. They're already looking. They just don't know you're there. So you run ads, you get connected to them and like, oh, sweet, I found it.
Yeah. And then if people do sneak through, if you have those 25%, the people who just aren't ready to buy, keep them online. You don't have to get rid of them. Those are the people that you continue to nurture through content or
that's why you put free stuff out, is if they want to learn, they can learn, they can develop it, right, and pursue you. But for the most part, right, you want to, it's like you said, there are patterns. You hear patterns in the time waster people and what they say and how they act, and there's patterns in the buyers and what they say and how they act. So when they're not a buyer, give them an easy way out to, hey, here's some free stuff, or here's a recommendation, here's a free thing that'll help you with the next step. And
And I think a big thing for coaches to remember, and as you and I have talked about, my coach taught me this, is that, when I was selling personal training and fitness and teaching trainers how to do it, it's coaching is the hardest and most expensive option. Right. Like when it's easy to buy a book, it's easy to buy, well, back in the day it was DVDs, or, it's easy to go on an app and get a subscription to whatever, workouts. It's easy, right? Because nobody's pushing you to do it and it's low cost. So you have to remember that when somebody's going to hire a coach, they've really got to be ready, right? Like you're selling the hardest and most expensive option, but you're also selling the best option, because it's what's going to get people the best results, and it's what's going to get, it's what's
right.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think it's always a good thing for coaches to remember that, and that's not to discourage you. It's actually to encourage you. You're selling the hardest, most expensive option. So you have to be really dialed in with the sale before the sale process, so that you're getting those leads who are ready to invest the money and to do the work.
Yep.
So
100%.
There we go. All right. Another lesson. Hope you